Om Shanti. Baba tells us art, history, and geography. We have heard history, but we always heard the history of the country, the history of our world, or the state which we belong to, or the religion which we belong to. But we never heard our history, that is the history of the soul. And Baba says, you always heard his story, not your story. So this is my story. My story that I was a resident of the incorporeal world. Then I lived in heaven. Then I became a worshipper for 2500 years. And now the fact of my life is that Baba is making me worthy of worship again. Baba is making me a deity again. But in order that this sits in my buddhi, I've been a worshipper for 2500 years. Now understanding that I don't have to worship, I have to become worthy of worship is a big shift. Yes, so does this sit in your buddhi? Do you get it? That now you don't have to become a worshipper, you have to become worthy of worship. You have to become a deity. And you see that even when you are in devotion, devotion requires thought, time, energy, money. All of this devotion also requires. And the same things are required, that same time, thought, energy, and money you require to become a deity also. But it is your consciousness of who you are and what you want to become that makes you choose your resources, that makes you choose to spend your resources not in performing devotion, but in becoming a deity. So do you choose to spend your resources in becoming a worshipper, or do you choose to spend your resources in becoming worthy of worship? You have to think about this. So you see that there are people in the world who spend their energy and time, take out days to observe fasting. Yes, and those days they pay a lot of attention to stay hungry, not to eat food. And it requires attention, it requires, tapasya, because without tapasya you can't stay hungry all day. Every time you will have a thought that I'm hungry and you will have to resist it. Yes, you will have to overcome it. And only then can you stay hungry for one day. Now you can use that same method and you can have a fast where the whole day you take care of staying pure. So there will be urge to see something impure, hear something impure, think something impure. And then you have to keep winning over those urges. And then just like, they devise methods how to go on hungry for a full day. So they will think instead of this, let me eat fruit, or let me eat, instead of grains, let me drink milk. So Baba says similarly, you have to devise your methods. Like if you don't want to eat impure, think impure, see impure, here impure, then you have to substitute it with what is pure. So that whenever there is an urge to see something impure, substitute it with seeing something pure, seeing something which anchors you in your seat of knowledge. So Baba says you have to make effort now. And earlier you thought that the effort is the effort to become a devotee. But now you understand that the effort is to become a deity. So do you understand that people in the world make a lot of effort to become a good devotee? So people want to be a good bhagat and they make a lot of effort for that. They want to be in the good books. You want to be in the good books of people. You want to be in the good books of your Aradhya, somebody you worship. You make a lot of effort for that. Now Baba says, you make that effort to be in the good books of Baba. And you make that effort to become a deity, not a devotee. So this is the thing that Baba says today. And Baba says that now I have come to make you the ruler of heaven. So Baba says, sweet children, you are studying the study here to become princes like Shri Krishna. God himself is teaching you. So now you're not worshipping Shri Krishna. You are studying the study that makes you someone like Shri Krishna. Okay? And did you ever think that there will be a school and there will be study to become a deity? So we always thought there'll be a school to become a doctor, but there can't be a school to become a deity. And Baba says, even if there is a school, so you see that in this whole cycle, it is only at this time that there is a school where you can become a deity. Yes? So, and the fortunate thing is we have been admitted to that school by default without any effort of ours. Yes, we were called and invited, and through special invitation, we are now part of that school. But then Baba says, even if there is a school to become a doctor and you get admitted into it, the important thing is you study to become a doctor. Similarly, in this whole cycle, this is the only time when there is a school to become a deity. And we are admitted into it. But the thing is, we have to pay attention to the study. Now, just like any study is divided into two parts, theory and practice. So you have a theory paper, you have a practical paper in your college or school. Here you have 4 papers. So there are 4 subjects you have to pay attention to: the study, yoga, purity, and then seva. So Baba says here you have to pass in these 4 subjects. And this is how you get good marks in your study and become a deity. So pay very good attention to all the 4 subjects. To the study, that is knowing the knowledge through Murli, understanding what is what, who is who, that's through the Murli. Then remembrance, and yesterday we discussed how remembrance will change us from a sinful soul to a charitable soul. So remembrance is very important because remembrance makes you pure. And then the third thing is purity, imbibing the virtue of purity. And then fourth thing is seva, because through seva we'll earn blessings. So Baba says, pay very good attention to all the 4 subjects of the study, and then you will go to that world where you will be qualified as a deity. Now, in the Murli today, Baba says that it has been explained to you children that when your stage matures, you will automatically stop performing devotion. Yes? You mustn't ever tell anyone not to do devotion. You have to give them knowledge. So how many of you have realized that as much as you keep studying, the realization that you are the one whose pictures you were worshipping starts to settle in your buddhi, and then you start leaving devotion. How many of you have realized this? Have you realized this? That as much as knowledge sits in your buddhi, you stop doing devotion. Now, if you are not in that stage yet, it is because knowledge is not imbibed in the buddhi enough. Yes? So, you see that people use this language of wrong and right, but I think that the more appropriate language to use is whether something is meaningful or redundant. And when you say redundant, it is something which has to do with time. So, when you say redundant, it means it's not serving you anymore. But so it's not like devotion is wrong. Devotion has its own utility in time. So there was a time when we were devotees and devotion was the way we felt connected to Baba, and that was the right thing to do at that time. But now devotion is redundant because the one who we were worshipping has come, and he's telling us that you stop worshipping me and start following me. So Baba says everything is meaningful or meaningless according to time. And you see that this is something that we usually don't take cognizance of when we operate in the world. We don't understand that nothing is always meaningful and nothing is always meaningless. Everything is significant and meaningful according to time. And Baba says, as much as you start realizing that the one you were worshipping has come, and he is telling you what to do with your time, thought, and money now, you stop doing devotion and start using your thought and time to create that which is making you into. Okay, so Baba says, as much as the knowledge sits in your buddhi, you automatically get over devotion. Yes, have you not? So, have you seen how maturity makes you rise above things that you were very interested in earlier? So, when you were children, you were very interested in using your time to play games or, run around or talk or gossip or something. And then slowly you grow out of it. So that's maturity. You start using your time differently. You start using your thought differently. So Baba says this is maturity. And as you mature, devotion will automatically go away. And for those who are already in that place where they understand that now I have to make the effort to become worship worthy rather than be a worshipper, those children, Baba says, you don't tell others also to leave devotion. You keep giving them knowledge. And as much as you imbibe knowledge and share knowledge, they will also transition from being an effort maker to become a worshipper to the effort maker to become worship worthy. So Baba says, the Father has come to give you knowledge and to make you into princes of heaven. So Baba says, now you make effort for that. And the knowledge is being given. What do you need to do to become that? So remember Baba, be a Karam yogi, and then imbibe purity, purity of thought, word, action, everything. And then use your time, energy to do seva. Bring other souls closer to their pure identity and closer to Baba. And today Baba says that when we listen to this Srimad, that now you have to become worship worthy, then we are in this world, right? The world where everybody is a devotee and a worshipper, and people look upon you if you are a worshipper. And if you're not a devotee, people look down upon you. They think that you are a papi or something. That's why you don't go to the temple. So all these things, all these questions come up. So, we need to find this balance between this new wisdom that Baba is giving us and the conventional setup that we continue to live in. So Baba says today, children now continue to make fast effort. Baba doesn't give you too much difficulty. Then you come and tell Baba, Baba, if we don't perform devotion, they say that we have become atheists. Yes, there are people who will say they have become atheists. Baba advises you to stay in remembrance of Baba as detached observers. You may worship a little externally. It is one thing to do something from your heart, and another is to do something to please others. Internally, you just have to remember Shiv Baba. If some people trouble you, just perform worship externally to show them and they will become happy. That is not committing sins. So Baba says, my advice is, if you have overcome your own sanskar of devotion, so first thing is that you must be in a place where you have overcome your own sanskar of devotion, and still, if you have to become part of some ritual, because it's being performed in the family or you are in a setting where you can't avoid it, then Baba says you can be a detached observer, be in the remembrance of Baba and be a part of it. Not with your heart, but through your physical presence. Yes? So Baba says in this way, the snake will be killed and the stick will not be broken. So Baba says you can use this yukti so that other people are also not upset and you are also not crossing your line of Srimad. Now one thing we need to understand is, this is the yukti for souls who have overcome their own sanskars. This is not a yukti to hide behind our sanskars. So, sometimes what we do is, we say that I have overcome this sanskar of devotion, but I am doing it for others. But actually, it has got to do with your own sanskars. And it is seen that even when you have a choice of not doing that ritual, you still do it anyway. So Baba says, check within yourself whether you are fooling yourself or you are adopting a yukti, just to please others and be in your spiritual stage. So you see that every festival that is observed, whether it is Navratri or whether it is Janmashtami, It is a remembrance, it is a memory of what we are becoming right now. So Baba says, instead of worshipping the deity, invoke the divinity in those days. And Baba says they celebrate a day, but you have to celebrate this whole Sangam Yug. Take every second to invoke your divinity. So even on those days, you have to do the same thing. You don't have to change your practice of invoking divinity and then go into worshipping deities on those days. So Baba says, you be clear about your path, you become clear about who has come to you and who is transforming you into what. Now Baba says today, another thing. Baba tells many of you that you may go to weddings, etc. Now, not everybody Baba says, because Baba knows that there are many children who are very influenced by external atmosphere. So Baba would say, you please sit here, you don't go anywhere. Because you go there, you lose your whole self-esteem. So Baba says, some children who Baba understands have the courage, to stick to their spiritual stage while being in a externally very body conscious surrounding. Baba will say, okay, you can go to the wedding. You have to fulfill your responsibilities to both sides. When you relate knowledge there, the arrow will strike someone or the other. And Baba says that there also you are not going to become part of the wedding. You're going there to serve someone who might have come in that setting to take knowledge. And I will tell you one incident about this wedding. So there was this sister, and she came to the center, and at that time the center was on the second floor. So she came panting for breath, and she was, as soon as she entered, she said, "Yahan lift nahi hai, yahan lift nahi hai." So she was like, she was very out of breath. And then she looked like someone who wouldn't climb the stairs and come to a center. And then she sat down and she said, "I want to do the Raj Yoga course." So I said, okay, we'll do the Raj Yoga course, but let's figure out what brings you here first. So how did you end up here? So you don't look like somebody who would choose to be here every day. So she said, I went to a wedding yesterday. And in that wedding, there was this couple, and they were BKs, and so there in that wedding, they lost something. So there was a theft which happened in that wedding, and this couple was one of the affected people. The one of the people who that theft affected directly. And when that theft happened, and as soon as people figured that out, everybody was very upset, and everybody was, very, what do you say? They were in a desperate mode to make it right or look for the person who was responsible. And this couple, they were both wearing white in that wedding also. They were wearing this BK badge. And although they were the affected party, they just both sat in one corner, and they were just smiling and sitting there. And one could make out from their face that they were meditating with open eyes, and it was strange. So I kept observing them. And then, in 1 hour or so, that person who was responsible got caught, and most of the things were retrieved also. And I don't know, but I felt this very deeply, that he got caught because of what they were doing. So I just asked them after that, what were you doing? And they said that we were meditating. We were remembering Shiv Baba. Now, I don't know who Shiv Baba is, but he's someone they were remembering. And then as soon as I came home at 1 in the night, but the only thought I had was, let it be morning and let me go to the nearest center and learn this, whatever they were doing. So you see that Baba says that even in a setting like this, you can become an example. And Baba says, you are not forbidden from going anywhere, but the purpose shifts when you become Baba's child. So when you have knowledge, wherever you go, your only purpose is sharing and seva. Sharing through your eyes, sharing through your face, sharing through your conduct, sharing through your words. So Baba says, you go anywhere, and that anywhere you go to is with this sole purpose that you want to share the gifts that Baba has given you. So Baba says, you are allowed, if you think you are courageous enough, to not get affected and color them by your company. And Baba says, you have to interact tactfully. Now, one law we must understand, tactfully is translated as yukti yukt in Hindi. And Baba tells us a law, yog yukt is yukti yukt. So someone who is in remembrance of Baba will do accurate karma. So someone who is in remembrance of Baba will have the wisdom and the power to conduct himself in such a way that you are not influenced by negative surroundings, but rather you are able to transform the surroundings. So Baba says you have to interact tactfully. The Father's order is, now don't become impure, because impurity makes you lose your connection with Baba. And then your karma becomes inaccurate. So do you know that whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you read, whatever you eat, can make you pure or impure? Yes? So have you seen that students these days have one problem that most students are facing is lack of concentration. Yes? And why is that? Because concentration is an aspect of purity. And these days, we are seeing, hearing, eating, reading, everything that's impure. So everything based on competition instinct, lust, yes? So body conscious world and all the creation is very body conscious. And this is why they are losing their purity. And this impurity is having an effect on their discernment, decision making, concentration, everything. So Baba says, if you want to be in a place where you can perform accurate action, you want to be tactful, you have to take care of your purity. You have to take care of purity of thought, purity of eyes, ears, purity of what you eat, everything. And Baba says, it is only by becoming pure that you will become the masters of the land of Krishna. Remember Shiv Baba and your sins will be absolved and you will become the masters of the world. So Baba says, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter whether there are devotees around you, but if you do as Baba says, then even in the most difficult of surroundings, you will be able to take your full inheritance from Baba. Okay? Now, in the slogan today, Baba says, to keep a balance at every moment, in every action, is the way to receive everyone's blessings. So Baba says, balance, say blessing. So Baba says, it's every person today is doing a lot. There is nobody sitting idle. Yes, even those who are doing nothing are busy all day. Yes, the only word we hear these days is busy, busy, busy. I'm busy, I don't have time. And even those who are doing everything are busy, those who are not doing anything are busy. So everybody is busy, but nobody is earning blessings. Yes. Now Baba says, how do you earn blessings? By keeping a balance. Now today we will talk about 3 balance that Baba has told us. First balance is Yad and Seva. Remembrance and action. Remembrance and Seva. So Baba says, whenever you are doing any karma, yes, so let the intention be Seva. Okay, all through the day, let the intention be Seva. So what differentiates a karam from Seva? So when do you say this is ordinary karam and when do you say this is Seva? When you do something with the intention to get, it becomes ordinary action. And when you do something with the intention to share, it becomes Seva. Yes? And Baba says, one thing is, never do ordinary action. Whatever you do, pay attention to the fact that that becomes a sharing, where you are in a stage where you're not doing it to get something, but you are doing it to radiate or share what Baba has given you. And Baba says, even while you're sharing, have a very good balance of Baba's remembrance. Because if you don't remember Baba, you don't know when ego will strike you. Yes? So Baba says, do everything in the remembrance of Baba. So this is one balance that you need to have. Balance of remembrance and Seva. Yad and Seva. And then Baba says, the second balance is Swaman and Nirman. So you should have self-honor and you should also have humility. Yes, you should have self-honor and you should have humility. So, sometimes when we were learning how to operate in bhakti, when we learnt the lesson of humility, we were taught that humility means I am a nobody and I am nothing. Yes? But if you operate from that place in your consciousness, where you think you are a nobody, then you will not have enough strength, enough virtues, enough power to bring a difference, to make a difference. Yes? So you need to have Swaman. I am worthy. I am Baba's child. I am a master world transformer. Baba does this act of world transformation through me. So you should have Swaman, that you are worthy, you're powerful, you're capable of doing everything on behalf of Baba. But Baba says, along with that, you should also have humility. And what is humility? Humility means that I am worthy, but because I am Baba's child. I am powerful, but because I am Baba's child. So you always remember that all your gifts are from Baba. So you don't start taking ownership of your gifts. Yes? And it doesn't develop into ego. So ego is when you start developing that consciousness that I am great. But if you understand that I am great because I belong to Baba and it is Baba who is making me great, then remembering Baba as the giver, as the bestower of virtues, gifts, efficiencies, powers, everything, you will have a balance of Swaman and humility. So humility in the conventional way, where you think that I am a nobody, is not useful. And when you have self-respect without humility, it has a chance of becoming ego. So you should have the balance of self-respect and humility. And then the third balance is Nyara and Pyara, detached and loving. Yes. So Baba says, whenever you are with somebody, always remember the one in front of you is a soul. Yes. And you cannot take responsibility of them. You cannot take responsibility of their karmic journey. Even if it is your child, even if it is your parents, they are a different soul. And this soul consciousness, that I and the soul are two individual souls. We cannot take responsibilities of each other's karmic journey. This will make you very detached. And after that detachment, first detach and then introduce love into that relationship. So Baba says, also nurture every soul with spiritual love. So detachment doesn't mean that you say that, oh, you are a different soul and I can't take responsibility of you, so I have to be very indifferent and callous to you. Yes? So that is not detachment. So detached and loving. So once you understand they are their individual self, they have their own journey, then you introduce spiritual love into that relationship. What is spiritual love? Spiritual love is taking care of the spiritual family because you're all children of one Baba. So you have to extend that feeling of belonging and care. You have to share Baba's gifts with them. You have to cooperate with them, support them, help them to everything. But you first have to know that you can't take responsibility of their karmic journey and destiny. So this will help you to find the balance where you do your action also, karma also, and not get caught up. When you get caught up, you start giving sorrow and taking sorrow. So this will relieve you from that cycle of taking sorrow and giving sorrow. So Baba says, when you do everything with this balance, then you will earn blessings. And when you are in this balance, then the 5 elements of nature and every soul around you receive sukh from you. And that sukh, which is not the pleasure kind of sukh, there is an indriya sukh, pleasure, not pleasure kind of sukh, but they receive that spiritual sukh from you. And when somebody gets sukh from you, they bless you. So Baba says, this is the way to earn blessings. Om Shanti. Let's thank Baba for some time. I am a knowledgeful soul. I know the power of pure action. I hold in my awareness the ocean of purity. Baba, the ocean of purity, is always in my remembrance. And as I am connected to the ocean of purity, every action that I do is filled with this energy of purity. My thoughts, my words, every transaction through the body is filled with purity. With each exchange, I share my gifts that Baba has given me with the other without making them dependent on me, but rather sharing the power also that makes them independent, powerful, and capable of sharing that gift with others. I am this pure soul, taking the power of purity from Baba, filling every action with purity, and creating a culture, a world of purity. Sit in this awareness for some time. Om Shanti.